Good morning, class. How are you all? I am also fine. You may have your seats. My name is Joel Jaco Oseji, and today I am delighted to do a presentation on methods of separating mixtures. So, there are so many different ways of separating mixtures, but the common ones are hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, evaporation, crystallization, distillation, filtration, sedimentation, separating funnel, magnetic separation, and sublimation. So let's talk about all of them. So let's talk about hand picking. This method involves simply picking out all the unwanted substances by hand and separating them from useful ones. The separated substances may be an impurity that has to be thrown away, or it may be that both of the separated substances are useful. For example, if you separate black grapes from green ones from a mixture of the two. So class, this is a picture that depicts hand picking. Threshing. This method is mostly done during the harvesting of crops. For instance, the stalk of wheat are dried once harvested. The grain is then separated from the stalks by beating the dry stalks to shake off the dried grains. So this is a picture that depicts threshing. So we know when the grains are collected from the processing of threshing, it needs to be cleared out of the husks and chaffs before it is turned into flour. Normally, the separation of the mixture is carried out with the help of the wind or blowing air. So the husk and chaff are blown away by the strong wind when the farmers drop the mixture from a certain height to the ground. The heavier grains are collected at one place. So class, this is a picture that depicts winnowing. Sieving. It is done to separate mixtures that can contain substances mostly of different sizes, so it could be small or big. The mixture is passed through the pores of the sieve. All the smaller substances pass through easily, while the bigger components of the mixture are retained. So class, this is a picture that depicts sieving. Evaporation. It is a technique that is used in separating a mixture, usually a solution of a solvent and a soluble solid. A typical example is sugar solution, which is formed by dissolving sugar in water. In this method, the solution is heated until the solvent, in this case water, evaporates where it turns into a gas and mostly leaves behind the solid residue, in this case the sugar. So this is a picture that depicts evaporation. Crystallization. It is the process where a substance transforms from a liquid, gas, or dissolved state into highly organized rigid crystal structure. This method is a vital industrial technique for purifying substances like salt and sugar. So this is a picture that picture that depicts crystallization. So distillation. When mixtures consist of two or more liquids, then distillation is used. Here, the components of a liquid mixture are vaporized, condensed, and then isolated. The mixture is heated and the component, which is more volatile, evaporates first. The vapor moves through a condenser and is collected in a liquid state. So this is a picture that depicts distillation. Filtration. The most common method of separating a liquid from an insoluble solid is the filtration. For example, the mixture of sand and water. Filtration is used to remove solid particles, in this case, the sand from the liquid, which is water in this case. Filtration uses a filter medium, example, filtering paper to physically trap smaller suspended solids. The trapped solid is called the residue, and the clarified liquid is called the filtrate. So class, this is a picture that depicts filtration. Sedimentation. Sedimentation is a process by which heavier impurities present in liquid, normally water, settle down at the bottom of the container containing the mixture. The process takes some amount of time. It uses gravity to settle heavier, larger particles to the bottom of a liquid. Sedimentation allows the liquid to be poured off. This process of pouring off is called decantation. So this is a picture that depicts sedimentation. So as you see, this thing that looks like a glass is called the beaker. And the one on top is the water, and the one down is the sand. Separating funnel. This is used mainly to segregate two immiscible liquids. Immiscible liquids are those which won't mix and give us a single phase. A typical example is oil and water. The mechanism involves taking advantage of the unequal density of the particles in the mixture. Oil and water can be easily separated by using this technique. So class, this is a picture that depicts separating funnel. Magnetic separation. When one substance is in the mixture has some magnetic properties, then this method is quite useful. Strong magnets are commonly used to separate the magnetic elements. So as you can see, this is a picture that depicts magnetic separation. Chromatography. It is a technique that separates components of a solution by passing them through a medium. It is used to separate mixtures of dye or pigments, as each component travels at a different rate. So as you can all see, this picture depicts chromatography. So the mixture starts off on the medium mixed with the chromatography solution. Over time, the mixture separates on the medium, results in separated solutions. Sublimation. It is a separation technique That separates a mixture of solids by heating it to turn one component into gas, which is then collected and cooled to become a solid again, leaving the non-sublimating components behind. A typical example is separating iron filings with iodine. So this is a picture that depicts sublimation. Did you know factor? Did you know that evaporation can leave impurities behind with the solid residue, while crystallization specifically forms crystals of the desired substance, often resulting in a purer product? Thank you for your attention.